Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk, the podcast here at the Courier and Pasadena City College. I'm David, I'm the managing editor here, and I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Sol, I'm the co-host and the lifestyle editor at the Courier.
And today we're another guest that we're back again. You're back.
Hi, I'm Machu. I'm a writer for the Courier.
Yeah, Machu was here on the first episode that we actually tried a video, and that was back when, instead of having the tripod, which you can't see, but we had a rolling cart, and it was really sad. And
It was a little ratchet.
No, but she was like a vibe though.
She
No,
was
she-
cute.
she-
She
yeah,
was
she
cute.
ate.
She was cute.
yeah, she got the job done, so
She
that's,
did, yeah.
that's all that mattered. So this is episode 9 or 8. It's one of the two. I don't know anymore.
Fast forward, we're almost done with this freaking semester.
Yeah, exactly.
And Machu's back, which is great.
Exactly. And like, since this is November, and with November comes, college applications, we thought it'd be a good time to talk about whether or not we're transferring, maybe tips with help on how to transfer, and all that good stuff. So we're gonna talk about that, and I'm really dreading it because I'm going through it, and it's like 2 weeks left of November, and yeah, but I think it'd be interesting because you're first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be like just kind of like the beginning of it, and then like me and Sol trying to like leave
On the way out.
Yeah, but like maybe not. I don't know, but yeah, I guess to start off, it's best to talk about like what are our plans for transferring, like how's applications going, and like whether or not that's going at all, depending on where we're at. So you want to start off like.
Yeah, so this was my first semester at PCC. I only showed up to like 4 out of the, how many weeks we've been here already for this semester?
12, 13, 12.
So, not transferring anytime soon, but I definitely like going through the college application process in my senior year of high school was already hell.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how it's gonna be the second time around after I already got denied from every school possible. So
I think like maybe not, like we're probably not more experienced after the 2 years at community college or like whatever time it takes for you to transfer, but like I don't know, maybe it feels less of a worry because I don't give as much of a fuck like as I did like when I was a senior in high school. Like I really don't. Like before I was very like nervous about everything, but now I'm like, you know what, like it is what it is. Like that's as much as I can like do. I can try my best and that's about it. But I do feel like a lot of people see it as like a really scary thing, which it can be,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's scary just because there's not as much help there, maybe as, say, for example, like you're in high school, because in high school you're required, the expectation is like you're applying to colleges, and like you have, like for my senior year, I had a really nice college counselor who was like helping us with like applications and like getting all our applications wavered, so it wasn't like the $85 they had to pay per school. It ended up being like $5, so it was like a lot more helpful, and you could like actually apply to like multiple instead of just like the one. But like with here, it's definitely just like, and it's the same with anything else here at PCC, but you have to like find it on your own and like navigate like the website or like go to like the transfer center, whatever they're having something, and like grabbing the booklets they have. So it's a lot more like you're on your own.
like work.
Yeah, and you just gotta like figure it out, and it could be like if you're really easily lost, like it's a lot. Like you're basically just going through like a maze. And there's like no support. Well, I mean, there's support, but you have to find it, and it's like great.
I also feel like, just in general, I honestly don't feel motivated to even want to transfer at this point. Like, only being here for a semester, I already kind of hate it, but I also think like I've heard so much from like people who have gone to 4 years or are currently in 4 years that it's not as enjoyable as like I think a lot of people make it out to be. It's really like a lot of the schools I wanted to go to ended up seeming very depressing, and I'm like, I don't think I could have survived even a semester.
It's a lot. I think the whole like college experience at a 4-year university is like a little glamorized in like social media and stuff. I don't know, a lot of people that I used to go to high school with are now like, they either just finished school, like just finished with their degrees, but I don't know, it just seems a little glamorized, you know, and then once you're back at real life with like your career and like why you even went to college in the first place, it just doesn't seem like where I would really want to be at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like Greek life and like all that shit is like very glamorized.
And then I feel like, you know, it's also, it's very hard to justify the price of college. Like,
Yeah.
the amount that you have to pay in student debts if you don't get anything from FAFSA is just insane.
Yeah.
Like how are you supposed to live the rest of your life after that?
That's another thing too, is like applying in the application process. Like I think money and the cost is a lot of people like, oh, like you can, there's free money everywhere, you just have to apply, like it's not that easy, first of all, and second of all, like I think they push you so hard to like go into a school, like just get accepted and just commit to like a really good 4 year, and it's like, oh, what's the price tag on that? And a lot of students don't find out like the magnitude of debt that they will be in a few years until they're like a year in at college, you know.
Yeah. I also think it's like there are a few careers where I think that does get justified though, like nursing, because if you're working for the government, your student debts aren't as bad, right? Or like it gets covered by the government in part.
I think it depends.
Some situations.
Yeah, I mean, it does depend like on what your major is and like how like competitive it is or like what kind of school you're even going to. But as far as like, you know, what you were saying like about people that you went to high school with and then like all of a sudden doesn't seem like that, like all sunshine and rainbows. Like I remember, I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, was like coming back to here like in my second year and then all of a sudden seeing people that were going to like Cal States or like UCs and I'm like, oh, what happened? And then I was just like, but it happens, like it's just not for you, or like, you know, the price tag. Like I had a friend who was going to Pepperdine, and then he had to leave just because he was like, it's too much, like I just can't. And then he's back here and he's doing fine. But yeah, it is a matter of like, you know, you could be like totally qualified to go to the school and like you could have done like a lot of good stuff, but if the money's too much, then it's like there's no way I could like, you know. And even housing, I think housing is like where a lot of people get like screwed over. Like that's my biggest fear right now, is like when I transfer, is like if it's like out of state, it's like, oh shit, I would have to like get my own place. And
yeah, you're essentially on your own.
Exactly.
I mean, we were literally just talking before we started filming about how hard it is to just move out, and especially in California.
In LA County even. Like...
Even in LA County, we have some of the highest renting prices in the country.
It's literally ridiculous.
You can find cheaper renting in like Honolulu than here in LA, which is crazy.
I believe that.
It's an island.
Yeah. It's really bad here. Like I think LA Times like weekly they post like a new like update of like rent in like, or like average rent prices in like different cities in LA, and you can see like West LA to East LA, like how the prices, and like it's literally all the same. It's just ridiculous. Like it's just too much.
It's impossible. It's
It
impossible
really
to live here unless you have like 5 roommates in a 1-room apartment.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really bad.
No, I always, whenever I think about like rents and like how the housing just keeps going up, I always think about like my own neighborhood. So like I'm from Highland Park, and I remember like growing up there, it like was like nothing. Like literally the main street, York, which is like where everyone like goes to like, you know, like hipsters or whatever. That used to be like so empty. Like there, wherever like the trendy coffee shop used to be, that'd be like a place to do your taxes, and then like another place would be like, I don't know, some like old warehouse. But like now it's like totally, I mean, it's just gentrification which happens, but like, and that like raises the housing, and then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck? And then like that just, and it's like that with like everywhere in LA. 'Cause, like, you really can't go like one area. It's like, oh, this place is not that bad. No, like every single place is the exact same as far as like affordability goes. But
yeah, and I think like related to that, but also like on the college end of things, like when I was younger, like everything was so much cheaper, but also like, you know, my mom was in college when I was just born, and like she was going through all of that. We were like kind of teetering on the edge there, but like, you know, LA is so expensive, like you barely get by here.
Oh yeah.
And like, so I think that's another thing for me, which is why I want to get through college, is like she was able to do it, like why can't I?
Yeah.
But then it's also like, I don't know if this is my path. I physically can't stand being here.
No, yeah. I literally felt that. No, I think a lot of it too, and like not so much, like, I think it is a lot of like pressure of like, the people around me are probably in their, you know, finishing up their degrees, or like they're going to grad school already. And it's like, that's the pressure of the surrounding, you know, your surroundings is like, I need to do this because everyone else is. But also like, maybe a little bit of pride as well. Maybe a little bit of like, I don't want to hurt my ego a little bit of like, what if I don't go to school and I know I can do it, like you just said, like everyone else doing it, why can't I do it, like I'm no different. But at the same time I'm like, ugh, I just really don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I feel like the surroundings are a lot as well, like your own pride being hurt.
I mean, for me, going through school for the past, you know, decade and a half, I was almost completely undiagnosed with a learning disability that I didn't learn about until my senior year of high school. And it's crazy because I didn't start receiving accommodations for that until my senior year of high school. So basically everything before that was just hell. And then now I'm here at PCC and again not receiving anything for that, and I'm just kind of not wanting to do anything anymore. Because it feels impossible. I feel like I'm back like at 7 years old, not able to just sit and get a piece of homework done. I just can't.
That's, I mean, I feel that 100%. But it's tough. It really is tough. And I think that like, also the college like system is very linear, you know. It's very like, there's this, the formula is pretty much the same across the board. Like, you know, you apply, you go through all that shit, you get in, you stay for about 4 years. Like that's the max you should be in college, right? Like 4 years, let's say. And
then like the counselors here, like they're just trying to like rush you out as fast as possible. Like they'll be like, I mean, I remember you were saying like the other episode or two, like how you're, which was like 5 or 6 classes. Your counselor's like, no, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. Yeah, she was like, how many jobs are you working? I was like 2, and she's like, you'll be fine. Here's 6 classes, like you need to take these. And now I'm like pissed because I'm like, dude, I cannot, like, I'm paying the price now because one of my classes, I mean, a philosophy class, we have the same philosophy class, and I'm literally tanking in that class. Like, I'm not even, I can't, like, it's too much.
Yeah, and it's like, I haven't spoken with a counselor here. Like, besides the first year counselor, no one else.
If you're doing your general eds, honestly, I think you're doing more than okay. Like, if you know, like, what classes to, like, take. I mean, like, I know, like, even that is, like, kind of like, oh, God. But, like, as long as you're doing that, like, you're kind of doing what your counselors would tell you as is. Like, it's really just them just be like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta... And it's like, okay. But then... I mean, they can be helpful, though. I know people who've had positive experiences with counselors. I've never really, like,
Where they at, though?
Right?
Where they at, though?
I've never really sat down and, like, had, like, that was... I felt better about myself. Like...
No.
After I got on the phone, I was literally almost in tears. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was terrible. I mean, not to, you know, shame see, but anyways. Also, I wanted to bring this up. I don't know if you guys, like, noticed this when you were a senior in high school, but applying to colleges, if you, like, accept, you know, admission or whatever, you get accepted to any college and you're like, okay, I think I want to go this direction. And sometimes they send you a financial package where it's like an outline of an estimate of kind of what you would be spending, including like your financial aid and housing and everything. And it's like a ballpark. It's not exact, you know, it's just like a ballpark. And then like right before you kind of like accept admission, there's an option of like, do you want to take out a parent loan, like a parent's college loan? And then do you want to take out a student loan? And there is literally an option to accept like X amount of money when you're still a senior in high school. And it's basically you sign up for a loan at like 17 or freshly 18. They have no business giving that to seniors in high school.
And it's like, I can't even get approved for like a normal loan and you're letting me have that much money for school.
And I don't know, like I remember clearly being in like my counselor's office, like, applying colleges, and I was like, why do they have this? Like, I have no business taking out a $30,000 loan right now. Like, I haven't even graduated high school yet.
I don't even have a credit history at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that happened to me. So like a little bit backstory, like when I was in my senior year, at first I got so screwed over by the UC system. Like,
Yeah.
which I mean, they screw over a lot of people, but like I got really screwed over, and it wasn't even like I even had like I would say I had good grades and like I did stuff, but like I guess like just because like of like how competitive that my grade was, it just more people seemed more appealing. So like it was what it was. But I remember so like I had gone to like Cal States and I got into Cal Poly Slow, and I was gonna go to that, and then I was like looking over like my financial aid and stuff like that, and yeah, like you said, there'd be like a 30,000 grant, and it'd be like random names, but like 30,000, 5,000, 10,000, and like it was one of those things or loans, and you really had to just be like, okay, I'm gonna like take this amount of money, knowing I'm gonna have to pay it back, but like that's sort of where you're at now, where it's like you have to accept the money they're giving you, knowing that you're gonna have to pay it back. But it's like shit, like I'm only 18, I don't even like know how like credit cards work.
It's crazy because there's no collateral for, like what is the collateral is that you're going to go to the school, and if you don't, you still owe all that money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what they rely on, not your credit history or any of that. It's just like
it's really messed up too, because as like a senior in high school, I think you're in that kind of like teeter of like I'm still a kid, but also like I'm about to be an adult, and then it kind of like they kind of mess with your brain where it's like if you don't take this money, how are you gonna pay for this tuition? You know, this is your dream school. Like you should just press the button and like this is your money. Now you have the money to come here.
Yeah.
And it's really messed up.
It's crazy. Okay, so I went to a school in Monterey Park. I went to Keppel, right? So there was a very big disparity. Like there was a lot of kids that were very, very well off, very like very well off, and then there was also a lot of kids that were below, the general poverty line, which is crazy. Like you would see all of these like kids who are more well off getting into these schools because their parents are able to pay for the grants, pay for the loans, and then oftentimes it doesn't even matter on their GPA. There would be a lot of people that were not able to do that, and just they had to go to a community college because they couldn't afford it. And it's like that loan is out for them because they're the people who need it most, and who will have to pay it back the most.
Exactly.
And then financial aid is it's one of those things where like you really do have to get it like done like as soon as possible, because like if you do it like the last minute, they're not gonna give you anything. They'll give you like $100 or something like.
Yeah, I remember I was like I applied for financial aid because I wanted to go out of state. That was my dream. As soon as I turned 18, I wanted to pack my shit and leave. I was like, I'm so done with LA. Like, I need to get out of here. But my ticket out is school. Like, that's the only thing my parents will, like, approve, is if it's school. So I did, like, financial aid, and then in the mindset that I would be out of state somewhere. So I think it was, like, Oregon, Arizona, and Seattle. Those were, like, my three tops. So I was like, okay, this is what I want. They literally... The price tag on like an out of state is like over $50,000, like tuition a year. Yeah. So you better be on a fucking scholarship, or you better be getting like those grants, And financial aid, like they literally gave me like a little over $5,000. I can wipe my ass with $5,000 on a $50,000 tuition price tag a year. Yeah. Like that's nothing.
$5,000 isn't even like 3 months of rent. That's not even 3 months.
Yeah, your tuition's 10 times how much they give you.
Exactly.
So it's just like.
That just puts it into perspective where you're like, and that's what I applied like the day it opened, like that morning at 4 a.m. I was like done.
Yeah.
So it's like
piggybacking off of that, like I remember being like 16, being like I'm gonna be out of the house. I remember being really young and being like, no, I want to leave the house at 18, and then that only got more and more intense the older I got. Yeah. And now here I am, and I thought I'd planned to move out in August, then that got pushed to October, and I'm still here. So it's like, it feels impossible, and school was the only way I could really justify doing that. Yeah. And then now I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I should just sell all my shit and move. Yeah. No,
and just be done with it. I'm on the same kind of like boat where I'm like, I think I'm at an age where my only goal in life is like maybe even more than like get my degree is to like have my own place. It seems like unreachable, you know.
I don't want to be at 20 in my parents' house. I don't.
But
And
that's me, do not.
sorry.
No, it's like,
but I mean, like,
literal
I'm serious.
hell. Like, I love
Like,
my family, like, don't get me wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really need like my own space, and like with school and stuff, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's really a lot.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too personal, but like, you know, we all have our family dynamics. And it's like, for me, my family dynamic was the fact that I needed to be gone by 16. I knew that I needed to leave from then. So it's like, you know, it's weird now that I haven't done that. And that I'm kind of in a position now where I'm like, well, I'm going to school. I'm going here because my mom teaches here, but also she doesn't know that I only take one class and that I'm barely going to that class and that I'm actively trying to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like, it's a little bit, I'm in like a weird state right now where like, I know like a year from now, I'll be somewhere, I don't even know. Like, that's the thing. I really don't even know if like, I'll be like, because I do want to go, like what you guys are saying, which is like out of state would be the dream, but like, you know, whether or not that's like financially stable or not, it is up in the air. It really depends on if I get a scholarship or something. But say like I do, like even if I don't go out of state and I do like a UC here, like in California, like I'll still be like somewhere else, and it's just like it's such a weird thing where I don't necessarily like, I'm fine with where I'm at, but I'm also just like, God, I'm ready to like be on my own because I don't want to like, I don't know. I guess also because going out of high school, I saw like so many people like, oh, like I got an apartment, or like, oh, I'm like having a dorm now, and then it's just like, oh damn, like I wish I could be like, like there. Which that's something we were talking about. The other episode was just like seeing people like on social media. It's like, oh crap, like they're doing this. This person got married.
Right.
This person's having a kid. Like, I would like be like, what the fuck? Like that's insane. But yeah, so at least with transferring, it's an exciting thing, but it's also just like, I don't want to screw this up because like I already like screwed up. Well, I didn't screw up, but like I got screwed over like in high school. So like I really need to like make sure I like get this shit.
No, literally same.
So
honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna be back here the next semester.
You know what though? Like that's the reality. Is like some people, like for some it's like very simple, and it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step equation. Like that's it, you know.
Yeah, you know, like my dad. Every time I see him, he always brings up these like statistics. He's like, well, I wanted you to go to a 4-year because people that go to a 4-year directly are more likely to graduate. People that go to community college is drastically like less likely that you're going to graduate college. And then he's like, if you go to graduate college, you're on average your like annual salary should be more and all this stuff. And I'm like, those are statistics.
Yeah.
There are so many extraneous variables in that. Like there's so many outliers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or the amount of people that drop out in their first year.
There's so many people that drop out in their first year, but then go on to be successful.
Exactly.
And there are plenty of people who got screwed over by the UC or Cal State system, and now they're paying thousands in student debt, and that's preventing them from being successful.
Exactly.
So it's like, I think it's like you should have your plan to know, like, if you decide that college is not your thing, is what you are trying to do sustainable outside of a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, at least for me, I think so.
Yeah, no, I 1,000,000% like agree with you. I think, especially in like the time that we live in now, and like in the area we live in. I mean, we live in LA County. You know, like that's you can't get any like. I mean, it's one of the biggest cities in the country. You know, so like we're here, but at the same time, like there's so many other options. The goal of having a degree is like at the end of it all to make more money. That's what you want to do, is to make money. You know, and I feel like there's so many other options or paths you can also take that don't require you to sit in front of the classroom for like 4+ years.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure. it's really a game of probability. Like that's all it does.
Yeah.
The only thing that a degree does is remove maybe a few smaller numbers from this random equation. Like it's not really, it's all about chance. Like you can be as smart or as capable as any other person, but it all comes down to whoever's gonna hire you.
Yeah.
And it's like there are people that get hired without degrees, but it's just because they were able to prove themselves in an interview.
That's such a good point. That is such a good point. My boyfriend, he literally tells me that all the time because he has like his own company, but he's very like I'm always like, don't talk to me about life. Don't talk to me about life because we're in very different spaces right now. But like he literally always says that. He's like, why are you like, just don't go to school if you don't want to. Like you can literally do so many other things just by like proving yourself, just like talking to the right people and like being like confident in yourself, you know. And I'm like, that's very true. I agree with that. But also, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot of shit. So, but I also love that we're getting like different perspectives here because I feel like I'm kind of like in between like both of you guys, like what you have said, and you're like on one end and then you're probably on the other end. So I'm like feeling both of like
we do
what
have
you're
a very
saying.
good spread here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because like from the very beginning, like of like more or less middle school to like high school, but like I knew like what I wanted to do. So like I was like, oh well, like you know, there's so many things in my way, but I don't want to let that get to me. And I remember like graduating high school and like seeing these people go to like USC or like UC Berkeley or like whatever, and then like thinking like, well, I deserve to be there, like, cause like I know like I want to be there, and so like it was just a matter of like wanting to do like as best for me as possible. And also I think a part of me is thinking like, you know, like no one in my family has been to college, so like I want to have that like fulfillment, like yes, like I was the first to like do that,
Right, yeah.
and just like, you know, kind of like what we're talking about validation, is like I want that validation of like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I did that, like that was really cool.
Exactly.
And it's not like I just want to go to a good school just to go to a good school. Like I want to go to schools that like matter to like what I want to do as a career, but it is a matter of, and then I think part of me is like still has a lingering sense from like high school of like I had a Spanish teacher my senior year, and she remember her telling us, like sitting us down one day, she's like, guys, just get your bachelor. Like you don't need to get your master's, you don't need to do all that, just get your bachelor, because then like as long as you have that you'll be fine. But like like it doesn't even matter where you get it. You could get it from like a Cal State or like a random school that no one's heard of. Just like have that. And, like
I think for like, again, not to get personal again, but to like kind of just I guess explain my viewpoint. It's like, you know, not that I was like super smart or anything, but like, you know, I would always be told like, you know what you're doing, why can't you just do it? Like all my teachers are like, if you just put in the effort, you would be fine because you clearly know the material. And it's like I lived through that for years, believing that I'm just incapable of putting in any effort to anything. And now I'm here kind of as a result of that, of like, oh, you didn't put in enough effort, you didn't go to a 4-year directly. And it's like, you know, my mom was, her and her sister were the first to go to college in our family. They both went directly to a 4-year. My mom went to UCLA, like, she got all these grants. Like, she's a smart person. But, like, it feels weird now that I'm not doing that. And, like, it feels like I kind of didn't put in the effort when I know, well, I didn't, but, like, there's so many reasons behind that and so many other factors that I think I need to constantly tell myself, like, no, you're fine. You're just on a different path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hate when people tell me that, like, oh, people go at their own pace in life. And I'm like, yeah. But it is very true, though. I mean, the thing is that it's on point as fuck because I'm not at all where the people my age are in life, like, around me, you know?
That's the worst when it's a cliche, and then, like, you're like, that's true, though.
Yeah, I'm like, it's freaking true. I mean, it's the reality is, like, we all are, like, taking different paths, and whether some people, like, school simply just isn't for them. Like, it can get as simple as that, you know?
Yeah, and honestly, your plan changes so much, even on a day-to-day basis.
For sure.
Like, when I was in high school, I had realized like, oh, I really love journalism. Like, this is what I want to major in. I'm going to go to college for this. I'm gonna finish college for this. And then I started college and I realized, well, you know, I actually I don't really want to finish college for this.
Yeah.
And I think I could just, in general, I don't want to be specifically just a journalist. I want to write all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't need a degree for that.
Right.
And I guess that was kind of my realization in the past few months.
Yeah. But at least you have like it's better, you know, not like this is like an ad for like community college, but it's better to like realize that in a community college setting
Exactly.
than
Oh
like
yeah.
a 4-year.
No. If I had to have
Yeah.
paid $30,000 to come to that realization, I
Yeah.
think I would have just finished with my degree.
And that's the
Yeah.
second part is that people like do realize that in their first year. It's like, well, I'm already here.
Yeah.
So I just like I have so many friends that are like that, or like they wanted to go to school for like this major and then they end up doing this. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't want to do that. But like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm already here. And it's
Yeah,
like,
or they're halfway through and then they
Yeah.
actually make the choice of switching majors. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and they're like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm literally
Yeah.
screwed.
Like,
now.
honestly, I'm so much better off with the fact that the only money I pay for school is like the Celsius I buy before class than like
Yeah.
Yeah.
than,
Right.
like, the
That's true.
tuition.
And in that position, like, you're probably better off than a lot of people are in 4 years who are realizing like this path
Yeah.
wasn't for me, you know.
Yeah, I'd rather just put my time into doing work to make money to let myself do what I want to do in the future. Which Starbucks, you don't make a lot, but like.
Oh, I really can't with that. I'm done. I mean, this is also like a good time to like point out that it's okay to, I think, take a step back and just really figure out where it is that you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like if you hadn't taken a break or like a sort of like mental reset, I think maybe you wouldn't have that time to realize like, okay, this is not really what I want to do right now.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I would be in this pit of just like constantly
Yeah.
just trying to achieve something that I know I don't want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking that is like really important. You don't want to end up in the situation where like in a few years from where you're at now, you're like, I screwed up, or like, damn, I'm still here in the same position I was like 3 or 4 years ago. You know, like. So I think it's important also to check in with yourself and just kind of be real. You know, like, is this realistic?
Mhm.
And if not, how can I make it realistic? You know.
Yeah, that's true. Are you doing transfer right now or?
No, I still have like 2 semesters left here anyways,
Oh,
because
okay.
last semester was my first semester.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. Because I guess like going through the application process, like I mean, you just went through it with like high school. It's exactly that, but it just feels a lot more like, I don't know. Like I guess with high school, it felt more stressful because you had like all your teachers like going at you, being like, you gotta go to this. You're
And
gonna
then it's
do
also
this.
like you have everyone being like, oh, I got accepted here and here and here.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're just kind of like, oh, well, I already plan on going to communities.
So this is not my story, but it's a story I always like to think about, especially right now. So I have a close friend of mine. He was having like a really like rough time with like all the UCs and stuff. And like he had track one day, and like it was after school, and he was it was just a track meet, and then the Berkeley admissions that came out, and then so he was looking and he's like, oh, I didn't get in, and then like another friend of ours was like, oh, I got in, and then he like ran all across the field, and then like, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I didn't mean to do that, and then and then like, but I always think about that, but I like it really, it's like the worst feeling in the world, because
really
you just
is.
feel like you feel so shitty.
Yeah, and it's again back to the fact that like there was a lot of elitism and shit like that at my school. You know, when admissions come out,
Everyone's like, yeah,
everyone with the money got accepted into schools, right? Because they were able to pay for it and all this stuff. And it's kind of this feeling of like, shit, I didn't even apply because I couldn't afford it, right? And it's like, it's just a terrible feeling. Honestly,
it's the worst.
high school culture sucks.
Yeah,
And it only gets worse. It only gets worse.
Yeah, I like to think I had a fine time, but it really does, especially with like my grade where like everyone was friendly with each other, but there was that like underlying sense of competitiveness, like, oh, I'm gonna get into this, I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, especially for me, where it was like, because it's kind of funny because a lot of my family went to the same high school, but like back then it wasn't like a good school, but then like all of a sudden it is now, and so I'm just like, oh shit, I have to like catch up.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, it's totally just like this sense of like, and I think that's another reason why I maybe wanted to like transfer, so I could just like put on my story, just like whatever.
I mean, like,
Yeah, like,
you know,
who's the boss now?
Exactly,
it
yeah.
always crosses my mind being like, I could just use this for social media.
Yeah, like,
One
maybe
day,
some
yeah.
flags or something.
And then I'll drop out. But like,
yeah. Or you're like, I got into Harvard, but I didn't want to go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Harvard was my second choice.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fun. Yeah.
Well, I wish you luck in your
Yeah, I know.
transferring,
Oh.
process.
Yeah, I guess to like close it out, the process of transferring, what I was trying to say is like, it's a lot more better than it is in high school because it is just a blank state and you're just dealing with yourself. So it's really just you versus you. Like you're just trying to like make sure you get your shit in and like, and you know, I respect the people like at the transfer center like for the resources they do provide, but like truthfully, I don't even think I've ever stepped like 1 foot in that room. It's down here.
Oh, it's just so
It's right here.
I walk by it every day. I'm so dead. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
But that's what I was saying though. Is like I'm sure they have great resources, but I've just never been there.
Yeah.
So it is like for me, it's like this past year I've literally just been figuring this out on my own. But like, I think it's been nice though because I have like a whole like Discord of like all like the links, and I just like tell my friends like, hey, like do this, you gotta do that.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Which I mean they're on their own like they're at their own speeds of it, and I'm they're all doing fine, but yeah, I think for me it's just really just a matter of like I need to fucking get out of here.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, I hope everyone who's doing applications is having an okay time, and make sure you get your fees waiver.
Good luck. I mean, like, you know, it's okay. Can we close out on a quote that I heard recently?
Yeah.
I actually don't remember where I heard this, but I did hear it recently. When you move, when we face all these big moments in our lives, and we think it's going to be this huge moment, or we're going to feel something we've never felt before.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that we have already in our lives faced the entire range of emotions we will ever feel. You know?
Yeah.
When you go and it feels underwhelming, like, that's why you will feel underwhelmed in certain situations, because you've already felt the most excited you've ever felt. It's never gonna be, you're never gonna feel like anything more than that again. So
that's a good point.
it's fun, it's exciting, but also remember, like,
don't set yourself up.
Don't set yourself up, but also like, this is life, and you're gonna have a million other life-changing moments.
Yeah, I always like that's actually a great like saying. Like along like this whole like college process, like my mom's always like told me just like look, like wherever you go, that was where you're supposed to go. Like it'll all work out, like it always does, and like it might seem like so daunting, but like you've already, like you said, like you've already gone through like every single emotion. Like that kind of reminded me of this movie called Her with Joaquin Phoenix, where he says a part where he's all like, I wonder like if there's ever like a new emotion, or if I've just experienced everything and like everything else from here is just like either like a higher version of that or like a lower version of that.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And I always think of that just because I think we sell ourselves short sometimes of like just how much we are capable.
Yeah. And
it's nice to remember just like whatever you're seeking out from like college or people or whatever, you already have that in you. And as long as you feel like you're good with yourself, then you'll be fine.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Good luck to all my college girlies.
Yes, good luck to all the university girlies. You got this.
You guys got this. Yeah, I guess we'll update soon enough. I haven't decided. I'm very stuck in between like.
Yeah, I think we already know where I'm going.
So we'll see.
Okay.
But good luck to everyone. If you need help, reach out to your campus resources. They're always there to help, especially if this is your first time ever doing any of this. There's always someone to help you. Communicate with yourself, check in, drink water.
Yeah, and also like, if you have someone in your life that's pressuring you to go to college, talk to them too. Just be like, this is my life.
Yeah. Make your decision. Don't let anyone. a good way to close it is just, I think we closed it like 3 different times.
We did.
But like final is the transfer center. There's no appointments to meet with a counselor, so you could just walk in and they'll talk to you. If you're applying to UCs or Cal States, they'll waiver your fees, so then it's not $85, it's $5 per university, and there's like 9 of them possible, so you want those fees waived. Private's good luck.
Yeah.
they want your money, but it's a case by case thing, and I'm sure they have like I think Northwestern's actually pretty good about that, but yeah, just make sure where you're going, you have your fees waived and they're not already stealing your money like before you're even there.
Yeah, don't accept any loans.
Don't
sign up for any money.
unless you are completely sure.
Yeah. If you have a plan, then go ahead. But you gotta really.
You gotta really believe in that plan.
You gotta, but yeah.
I'm so dead at Machu.
Sorry,
It's like
guys.
shitting all over everything.
Yeah. So I think it's a good place to end. I hope everyone has a good day and a good month and a good life.
A good end of the semester.
And a good end of the
Good
semester.
luck.
It's almost
Oh my
there.
God.
Finals
all
are
that
almost
shit.
there.
Every day,
Let's
every
go.
Tuesday, I would sign out of our school's PA system. Have a good day, have a good week, and a good rest of your life.
Yeah, there you go. Bye. All right. Yeah. Good luck with that patient.